Hello. Today I'm going to do a book review on Twilight. No! Oh god. I think this could best express it. Twilight. A Twilight book review. First, I'm going to say that Twilight fans scare me a bit. Some of them are just a bit too hardcore. For example, I was staying at a place that showed free movies outside. I could see the whole setup from where I was staying. There was a free outside showing of Twilight, the movie. It was pouring rain with thunder and lightning, yet the fans were hovering in the eaves like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, silently staring, waiting half an hour for the movie to play. Which I could understand if it was simply to see a free movie, but it was not because it was free. No, because you see, the week before Marley and Me played, there was a light drizzle, but nothing compared to the night Twilight played, and they never even bothered to set up the projector. The Twilight fans were proud to sit in the rain, called themselves hardcore, asked when the movie was going to start, like thunder and lightning was no big deal. It was almost as if the earth was saying, "Dear God, no, I'm crying and so sad that you're going to be playing this horrible movie," and did all it could to stop this, yet they were just too tenacious, and eventually it got better and they played the movie. In short, they scare me because I just don't understand risking your safety for Twilight the movie. It's really not that great a film. So, why am I doing this review? That is an excellent question. I don't get Twilight's popularity. It was a commercial success, and when it came out, this huge wait list at the library to read the books, and made a lot of money, and a lot of people really enjoy it, I guess. But I had to know why there was this kind of draw. So I asked about it, and the more it was described to me, the more ridiculous it sounded. I mean, everyone falls in love with Bella, including a vampire, then a werewolf apparently falls in love with her. I mean, why stop there? Why not a mummy? Or a zombie falling in love with her? Or a brownie? Oompa Loompa? Maybe even a Smurf? Anyways, then I felt bad because I hadn't read it, and it's not fair to judge something without giving it a fair chance. And like I said, I really wanted to know what was special about this book, that people were just going crazy over it. Like, what it was that would drive people to risk their lives in sitting in the rain, or just all this stuff, and just very obsessive about it. So, I sought the good in this book and gave it the benefit of the doubt and started fresh. No expectations whatsoever. And Twilight missed those expectations, or rather, lack of expectations. The style of the book is like a children's book, and not just any children's book, a little kid's book. Like, think See Spot Runs. You know, this is Spot. See Spot. Spot likes to run. See Spot run all over town. Run, Spot, run! Twilight style is just like that. You know what I think? Myers ripped off See Spot Run, and just added vampires to it. The whole book is basically written in the following style. This is Bella. See Bella. Bella is sad. See Bella be sad all over town. Sad, Bella, sad. See pretty vampire. Sparkle, vampire, sparkle. Vampire is pretty. Pretty. See, the reason, however, children's books are so short is because this style of writing becomes tiring quickly. It's tolerable at the start, but grating when there are 498 pages. I'm exaggerating a bit, but to show what I'm talking about here, here's 3 sentences from the book that I randomly picked out. Wow, Dad, I love it! Thanks! Do you really love it? I'm not sure. Let's keep reading to find out. I'm truly on the edge of my seat here. Now my horrific day tomorrow would be just that much less dreadful. Even though it's inner dialogue, maybe you're lying to me. Maybe you really dislike the truck. Let's read more. I wouldn't be faced with the choice of either walking 2 miles in the rain to school or accepting a ride in the chief's cruiser. So the bus isn't an option. So, kids, let's have a little quiz here. So kids, does Bella, A, love her truck, B, Bella really loves her truck, or C, Bella's brain dead? So, did you pick your answers, kids? Well, good job, because everyone's right! Yay! Oy. Golly gee, Miss Myers, I never would have figured out that you loved that car without your explicit dialogue and 2 whole sentences of your inner dialogue of thoughts. I don't know how I ever would have gone through reading this book if I didn't know this really important information that Bella loves her truck. Seriously, half this book could be cut out if she simply showed instead of told. I mean, it's the basic rule of fiction, for crying out loud. I mean, it's the first thing that you learn. And it's just the first rule of writing fiction, and the whole book is like this. I mean, it would be okay if it was just a little bit, like, you know, a couple of sentences here and there, but, no, it goes on, and on, and on, and on, and on, and it's just frustrating. And the dialogue really isn't much better. It's cheesy and tells instead of shows. They're great lines like, Charlie wasn't comfortable with expressing his emotions out loud. I inherited that from him. Don't tell me that! Show me! Describe it! Let me draw out my own conclusions. Don't tell me what to think! Describe the awkwardness and what it looked like, instead of using lines like, well now, you're welcome, he mumbled, embarrassed by my thanks. What was he embarrassed by? Your thanks? Really? I never would have guessed. I couldn't possibly draw these conclusions on my own if you described the interaction. No. This is like horribly written fan fiction. And it would be fine as a draft. It's hard to write 498 pages of anything, but it's not a good published piece of work. And what's worse is we know absolutely nothing about the characters after reading a page about the truck. Seriously, they go on about this freaking truck, and it plays no important role in the story. I mean, if this was Herbie, I could understand, because in there the car comes to life, but it's a truck. Why did you make me read all that information about a truck? What does it have to do with anything? The result of this style of writing is the main characters are as flat as the minor characters, who don't have as many pages of description. And it's just literally stating their actions and thoughts. I mean, unfortunately, their depth is as deep as a puddle. It would be like me saying, I don't like this book. It irritates me. Wow, I wasted my time reading it. Half this book could be cut out by this unnecessary description. And it would be okay if there's actually a freaking plot! Or something good about the book, like a strong character. But no, the main characters have the depth, well, as I said before, of the minor characters. The depth of a puddle. I mean, there's nothing there, they're flat. So, the first half of the book is about Bella and these pertinent pieces of information, like how much she loves the truck, and everyone falling in love with her except for Edward, who initially seems repulsed by her, and he disappears and then warms up to her, and their newfound relationship reaches a climax when Bella's nearly crushed by a classmate's van in the school parking lot, and Edward saves Bella when he instantly appears next to her and stops the van with his bare hands, and Bella becomes determined to discover how Edward saved her life and constantly pesters him with questions, and eventually Bella concludes that Edward and his family are vampires who drink animal blood rather than human. And Edward confesses that he initially avoided Bella because the scent of her blood was too desirable to him. Remember that, because we're going to get back to that in a bit. He tells her that he's dangerous, and yet this doesn't deter her. No. So Edward reveals a couple of secrets about himself, and before that they also talk about each of the family members and how they became vampires, including his supposed vampire dad, and how he's this medical professional who has decided who invented this way of living off of animal blood, and he's a doctor and he helps people. So as I said before, Edward reveals several secrets to Bella about himself, and this is a spoiler alert. If you don't want the book ruined, even though there really isn't much here, you might want to skip over this part. Secret 1. He explains how they're rich because Alice, his vampire sister, can see into the future. He's forever young since he's a vampire. He's actually a 104-year-old vampire. And they've been moving around different towns and repeating, wait for it, high school. Okay, you're rich. I just gotta stop right here. Okay, you're rich, forever young, and you pick to repeat high school. You don't want to, maybe spend your time curing world hunger, set up an anonymous charity, use your resources and infinite time to make a difference in the world? No, just love in high school completes you. Okay, moving on. Another Edward secret is, wait for it, you'll never guess unless you read the book. He sparkles. I have to admit this is unique. But, it's stupid. There's so many problems with this. I mean, points for originality there, but it just causes so many problems. Problem 1. It contradicts the logic of the book. The vampires hide away from the sun because they sparkle. What? That makes no sense! Before Myers, no one would think a sparkling person is a vampire. There's so many other logical explanations that jump to mind. They're wearing glitter makeup, like body glitter. They made out with someone who was wearing body glitter, or they went to a strip club, or I don't know, they got into a glitter fight. No one would see a sparkling person and say, "Oh no, a vampire! Ah! Get the torches and pitchforks! Gotta chase them out of town!" I mean, no. No. There's so many more logical, plausible explanations that jump to mind before we go there. Problem number 2. If they're so powerful, as the book claims, why are they hiding? I mean, this is one of the problems with making all-powerful characters, of course, but seriously, why are they hiding? I mean, what are they hiding from? They live forever, so guns can't kill them. According to the book, they're almost impervious to everything that we mere humans have. So, what are you hiding from? Are you hiding from crazy fangirls? I mean, seriously, don't look at me. I sparkle. Seriously. That's why you're hiding, is because you sparkle. Okay, problem number 3. How is sparkling an extra hunting feature? Where to begin with that? I mean, it would be like... this. so distracted by the pretty glitter on the screen. Whee! I couldn't possibly be harmed by this, and I'm so distracted. No one, I could easily be attacked. I mean, it's not possible that the super fast vampire would just attack me. He must glitter first, because according to Myers, they're super fast, and I mean, why would you need to distract me with glitter if you can attack me in a second? So the amount of time it would take for me to acknowledge and comprehend that I'm seeing this glittering thing here, you could have just attacked me in that instant. There's no point to this. This is just annoying, and it's stupid. So very stupid. I mean, look. Shiny. I'm so shiny. Okay. I mean, you don't need this to hunt. You are apparently super fast. You don't need to... Faster than most humans. You don't need to slow us down with sparkles. There's no point in this. I mean... You couldn't possibly move away because they're so distracted by the sparkles that could attack me. I mean, seriously. Once again, super fast vampire really needs to slow down a human with sparkles. Think about that for a second. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the big secret is a sparkling vampire. Wow. That's what you spent building up the book and making me read through all of these redundant sentences to find out that Edward sparkles. Okay. And at this point, I just think there's really no logic in the book, and oh yeah. Anyways, another thing. Edward watches Bella sleep without even asking her permission. I don't care how hot you are. That's creepy. And what's Bella's reaction to this? Is it, surprise, or maybe curiosity, or freaking out? No, it's this. Ay. Outside her window he crept, watching her every step. Oh, he's following her. Oh, he's out of his tree. Oh, he's off of his rocker. She wants to marry her. She wants to marry her stalker. Oh. He sleeps on her doorstep. He hasn't heard her yet. This morning he wasn't there. She hoped that he still cares. She almost gave up hope. But today she woke to a private note. He said he's going to jail for going through her mail, but he'll stay on her trail. She wants to marry her stalker. Oh. Seriously, Edward has nothing better to do than watch Bella sleep. And how does that even turn you on, or just, what the hell? I mean, you're watching her sleep. You didn't think maybe you should try to cure cancer, solve the Middle East crisis, maybe figure out how to cure being a vampire, since apparently you think being a vampire means you have no soul? No? I mean, once again, forever young, so he has plenty of time, rich, so he has financial resources. What does he do? Watches Bella sleep. That's how he spends his nights. Could do anything else. Anything. Super fast, could run around the world and see the world, and nope. Sleeping does it for him. I don't understand you, book. I'm trying, but I just... Why? Why do you do this? You hurt the English language, and you force us to read all this stuff that has nothing to do with anything, and you don't have a freaking plot. No, there's no plot. Instead, they have more such adventures after... Because, you know, watching Bella sleep, gotta have more of those kinds of things, so there are more such adventures, like Edward driving his car ridiculously fast with Bella as a passenger. I mean, he claims that she's perfectly safe because as a vampire he has fast reflexes, but you know what? You're an inconsiderate jerk. I know this is supposed to be exciting and adrenaline pumping scene because you're going fast, but let's assume Edward is fast enough to anticipate any unexpected move and abandon. Let's forget the fact that despite his fast reflexes, he may be forced into a space or situation on the road where he can't avoid a crash because there's no physical space. And as far as we know, vampires can't fly in Myers' world. Because I don't care how fast your reflexes are, if there's a mechanical failure in your car, because honestly, people make mistakes, even if vampires supposedly don't, and tired manufacturer could screw up one little part that breaks down while you're driving ridiculously at fast speeds. And thus, while Edward is driving at ridiculous fast speeds, he would cause a major accident because maybe tiny piece makes it so the brakes don't work or something, but no. You see, he's inconsiderate because he won't die and he won't suffer the consequences of this act if such a thing were to occur. And instead he endangers other innocent people and even endangers the person he supposedly cares about and supposedly even loves, Bella. And yeah, this just shows me you're a jerk. Because honestly, you have all the time in the world. Why are you in a rush? You should be taking it slow and actually enjoying the journey. They're not rushing to a place. I mean, where do you have to go that's so important that you need to get there really fast? What? You're going to be late for your 10th biology quiz? Not cool, dude. Not cool. Further, you know Bella distracts you, according to Myers, she said many, many times. Yet, you don't account for this at all in your speed whatsoever, thinking, you know, maybe you won't be as fast because you're slightly distracted. This is... So anyways, I'm not even gonna touch this. So anyways, over time, Edward and Bella fall in love, despite this ridiculous stuff. And finally, because the first half of the plot is done, which is finding out what Edward is, and Bella and Edward falling in love, and their crazy hijinks, adventures of what I said, going fast, and him watching her while she slept, because that's apparently counts for plot in Myers' world. Myers realized that she has no more plot anymore. So, what does she have her characters do? I'm not even making this part up. She has them play baseball in the middle of the book. Not joking. Bella watches the vampires play baseball, because that's what vampires do. They play baseball in the woods in the middle of the day. Yeah. Only in Myers' world. So eventually the rest of the plot decides to show up in the form of 3 vampires. And you know they're bad vampires because their eyes are red. Yes, their eyes are red. Because we could never tell who the bad vampires are unless we gave the bad ones the evil color of red. Because that's the level we're at in this book. And of course their eyes are red because they drink human blood and they're bad. We can't forget that. They're bad. So, anyways, the book builds up this one tracking vampire as the villain, and they say how smart he is, and he's really committed to the hunt because out on the baseball field he finds out that Bella's human and that Edward wants her, so of course he decides to tracker. And they really build up this tracking vampire. I mean, they say he's smart, he's really committed to the hunt, he's unshakable and clever and cunning, and tracking is his passion, his obsession. And so you think, this is it. There's going to be, maybe there's just this really cool villain, and that's maybe what was the draw. There's going to be some cool tricks and back and forth, and maybe an epic chase scene, and a great cat and mouse kind of game. But no. The smart tracker's evil plot to get Bella, the one that they kept building up and saying he's an expert at this, and you'd think so since he's been around for a very long time, but no, it's one that would make Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone proud. It's a stunt that a 10-year-old boy could do. The tracking vampire phones Bella to say that he has taken her mother hostage in a nearby ballet studio, and uses a recording from a home video to prove to Bella that he has her mother. Seriously, Home Alone stunt. That's what we were waiting for. That's the big build-up, the big payoff to you going on and on and on about how cunning this villain is. And what the heck? That is not brilliant. It's a 10-year-old could come up with this stuff. What the heck? And what was sad was I saw it a mile coming, but I was like, no, she wouldn't go there. That's just too lame. But no, they go there. Why? I mean, I'm trying to understand you, book. I really, really am. But you just make it so hard. You know what? Oh, I see it. I know what he was doing. You know what? The villain actually realized that he could get... It's actually quite clever now that I see it. You see, he knows he can get Bella to capture herself and escape her protectors by doing absolutely nothing. He says he'll do stuff, but he never does. Because he figures, why should I put forth any more effort than Myers put into this whole plot? He figures... If Bella's so dumb to fall for a trap that takes little effort, why should I exert myself coming up with something intelligent when a no-effort Home Alone trap will do the trick just fine? So, kids, is he right? Is our heroine, who's supposedly smart according to what the author tells us, rather than shows us, see past his plan? I mean, maybe I was actually really hoping on that one, that she'd see past it and, there would be more of a mouse game, but no, she's really that dumb. Bella goes there, unaware that her mother is actually safe in Florida. And there's a lot of problems with this. Because, like I said, I was really looking forward to, or maybe seeing past that trick and there actually being something more to this, but nope, she goes there and, wow. Okay, problem one. I really feel nothing for this character. I hate to say it, but it's almost like someone that dumb deserves what's coming because she is a vampire there that can see into the future. You would think if the tracker vampire actually captured Bella's mother, then the vampire that could see into the future would warn her. But no, this never occurs to her. Ever. Not even later. After this big epic scene. No. Also, it never occurs to her that the tracker vampire is lying. She just goes there and risks her life. And when she finds out that her mother is actually safe, is she sad that she risked her life for no reason? Nope. Instead, she thinks, quote, "Surely it was a good way to die, in the place of someone else. Someone I loved. Noble, even. That ought to count for something." No! It does not count for something when you die for no reason and unnecessarily. Your death accomplishes absolutely nothing! It's pointless, and you don't even care! So, we've got a main character who doesn't want to live, and a villain who's given up. Anyone else see the problem? I mean, when the villain gives up and your main character wants to kill herself, you know there's something wrong. You know what? If Myers can put barely effort into this, and even the characters don't care, I don't have to either. I'm gonna go take a nap now. Yeah, middle of the review. Yes, in the middle of the review, because why not? No one else in this book cares. Oh, I hope I didn't turn on any vampires out there with my power nap. So basically, Twilight is illogical. Contradicts its own logic. Has flat characters and a thin plot. And still don't really see anything good in the book to possibly warrant the attention it's received and the obsession it's garnered. It's just really bad. But we're almost at the end! Before James, the tracking vampire, can kill Bella and possibly give a well-deserving early end to this series and the book, this horrible, horrible book, Edward, along with his family and the other Cullens, rescues her and destroys James. But not before James bites Bella, injecting his venom into her. So, because, you know, we're not done with this scene. We couldn't just let this die. No. Anyways, so Edward's dad is a vampire doctor. You would think he would be the one to get the venom out of Bella, since he has the most experience with vampires and is a trained medical professional with vast years of experience, decades even. Many, many, many decades of experience. In fact, the book explicitly says that it took Edward's dad 2 centuries of torturous effort to perfect his self-control. Now he's all but immune to the scent of human blood. But no! This is Twilight! The land of illogical things! Logic? What's that? This is Twilight! We don't need no stinking logic! No. Instead, Edward, you know, the one I said earlier, the one that said that the scent of Bella's blood was too desirable to him, is the one to try to suck the poison out of Bella. So, Edward successfully sucks the poison from her bloodstream and prevents Bella from becoming a vampire, after which she is taken to a hospital. Much like I'd like to be right now. Upon returning to Forks, Bella and Edward attend their school prom, because we haven't hit our cliche quota yet. And Bella expresses her desire to become a vampire, but Edward refuses. That's the end. Yay! I got to the end! I survived this review! So, this is truly what this does to me. Okay, so did I find any pros to this book? Did I actually succeed in my mission? Well, these are the pros that I found. The scene at the beginning with the mom was cute, I guess. It was a commercial success and helped the economy of Forks, Washington, so that's good. It has a cool title, Twilight, that describes the book well. It's the twilight of Bella's life, I guess, the period between day and darkness that represents the period Bella is going through. It also accurately represents my soul, falling to the edge of despair before I curl up into the fetal position because of this horrid description in this book and the non-existent plot. And I'm just gonna stop this rant right here because clearly this book was not meant for me. I just honestly don't get the appeal. I'm not even sure what the point of all this was, but that is Twilight. It's completely illogical and it's ridiculous, and arguably another good thing about this book is it got a lot of people to read, and it inspired many people to read who otherwise would not, but is this really a good thing? I mean, was there really any benefit in inspiring reading this book when it's this bad? It's like dipping broccoli in chocolate and then deep frying it and then rolling it in butter. It's so bad. The good stuff, the broccoli, has no nutrition left in it, so you might as well have not wasted the effort it would take to eat this stuff. And instead eat something not as good as broccoli and actually enjoy it, like a brownie or chocolate cake or even carrot cake or whatever. The time you spend reading this book is time better spent recycling, even watching TV. Anything would be better than reading this book. Watching the grass grow. I don't care. Anything's better. The way Twilight is written, I would argue, it actually damages your thinking skills and brain. You have logic and it just tears up all the logic and throws it out the window. I mean, this is the only way I can explain Twilight, is this. And honestly, this is your brain on Twilight. It just rips up the logic and just... This, ladies and gentlemen, is what Twilight does to your brain. Crumples it up, tears it apart, and frustrates you with its insipid descriptions. Okay. So finally, the only other benefit from me reading this is maybe some of you guys enjoyed this review. I hope so, because someone should benefit from the misery I endured reading Twilight. I mean, it was really, really hard to read this book. It felt more like a forced reading assignment for school than a book I was reading for fun. The writing style was just too much to handle for long periods of time. I had to put it down and walk away from it. It was insulting to my intelligence. And I don't expect deep writing, but just enough that it's tolerable and you don't break the basic rules like show, not tell, and when you set up a rule in your story, because no one's forcing you to set up that rule, because you get to choose it as an author. You shouldn't, as an author, and you shouldn't contradict your own rule. And I mean, it's just ridiculous, what this book is. It's the way that it's written just robs it of its possible potential. And I'm just done with this. This is ridiculous. Anyways, this is Lollylocket signing out. And don't waste your time reading Twilight. There just isn't very much good in it.